How's it going? Today is 28th of October, Monday. It's new week, and we're gonna be taking a look at the market and what kind of things and opportunities we can find. Briefly, we're gonna be taking a look at potentially what UK's government is doing and some of the press releases, most recent ones. From there, we're gonna be progressing to investments and perhaps not such good things. And from there, most likely we're going to be touching on Europe and what's happening when it comes to perhaps opportunity. That would be media. Perhaps if we can, we will try to take part when it comes to receiving finances and sourcing and all some of the activities, media activities, if there's a finances available, right? Most likely, other governments have done it. Most likely, we have other governments have gave and or in return for work, governments have supported a lot of activities, so they would have some finances to carry out their work. And Europe is looking to do it, which is kind of interesting thing. When it comes to UK, most likely UK have very centralized format. Their BBC most likely receiving a lot of finances. So it's very centralized. Perhaps let's take a look at Europe and how Europe, but that's gonna be the last part of this video where Europe might consider decentralized. Not necessarily that would give a lot of control over the media, if that makes sense, but that's something perhaps Europe is looking to do, where UK perhaps have very particular way. Anyway, let's progress. Just quickly, if we could how we're doing on the calendar that we have finished week 165. Overall, it was a great week. I have done a lot of marketing and a lot of reading. Overall, it was a great week. We're progressing to week 166. That would be every second day of the week. We're gonna be doing a lot of marketing and closing customers with sales. First press release that we're gonna be taking a look at, that would be counselor to unlock housing in the first budget. That would be budget will deliver more affordable housing, ensuring social housing is available for those who needs it, and all turbocharged the delivery of 1.5 million homes. Maybe 10% of 1.5 million could be social housing, perhaps, right? But anyway. A housing package announced today will deliver up to 5,000 new affordable social homes with 500 million in the new funding for affordable homes program, which brings total investment in the housing supply to over 5 billion to support the delivery of 33,000 new homes throughout 128 million for housing projects across the country. I don't know, but maybe they, when it comes to building houses, if the target is 1.5 million, if that's the target, so so there's a milestone right of how many houses government will need to build and how fast, right? Just to reach this target. So as of now, perhaps the 33,000, where that's where things are. But anyway, let's progress and let's take a look at the next article, right? Next press release we can take a look at that would be government first budget will invest in Britain's future. I don't think the budget have a budget been announced, but anyway, I don't know. I actually don't know. That's something that wasn't published yesterday. So perhaps that's preparation for a budget and everything what's happening now. Will pledge, Prime Minister will pledge that his government's first budget will put Britain on a new path, which is great. One that shows its long-term growth to put more money in working people's pocket and rebuild public services instead of return to austerity. I don't know. This is what Prime Minister is doing. If there would be an option, perhaps would be more of the generation thinking. So that would be first generation, second generation, and third generation. So where whatever first generation is doing or people are doing right now, next generation would be able to take over from that point and carry out work. But that's a different, completely different structure. Not necessarily it's what as of now been done, all these kind of things, but that would be perhaps what other people would be doing in this kind of situation. Anyway, I don't know. Should we read it or should we focus perhaps? And since budget haven't been announced, so that's the important part, right? So let's skip it for now and let's take a look at other information available, right? Something I was trying to find out a little bit more of is just because I'm closely following what's happening with Freeports, and perhaps there might be way more councils that we might have to reach out to than engaging in business partnerships, right? That could be K pledges thousands of new jobs in Freeport's plan. So something I was reading about yesterday before there was a new new article that was published, right? So again, since official documents haven't been published, there's a lot of speculations happening. So I thought I'll touch on it. If it's haven't been completed, it's haven't been announced. So that would be a budget. There might be a lot of things happening. I know people jumping into conclusions, but anyway, that would be no new Freeport's budget after. Okay, okay. So the new budget. So there might not be more free ports, quote unquote, right? So I thought I'll touch on it and let's wait for a budget time. Let's progress and let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at this article, and that would be progression into next article, something I'm very interested in. So first article, that would be UK welcomes huge investment from German defense companies. Where it's something that we were taking a look at previously about the potential Trinity House, and some of the operations and manufacturing might take place, as well as German military companies are investing in a number of regions in Europe as well. But we're closely following what's happening in UK, right? That would be two European largest defense companies have announced significant investment in UK defense industry following the signing of a landmark Trinity House agreement between UK and Germany. Trinity House is something that HQ in Germany potentially, and some of those operations might be outsourced into UK. So let's read it, right? The agreement signed in London straightens ties between two countries, armed forces and defense industries, marking the new era of collaboration in European security and economic growth. Uh, there might be a name, so let's keep name. One of Europe's fastest growing defense companies, or that's the name of the business, right? Revealed plans to invest 350 million in UK-based AI technology over the next 5 years. This investment aims to accelerate development of AI-enabled systems at a very rapid scale, enhancing UK's capabilities in advanced defense technology. Briefly, we can take a look at, right? That will be again name of the business. Well, let's progress. The major German defense manufacturer also launched its announced. In fact, also announced it will build an artillery gun barrel factory in UK, supporting over 400 jobs and contributing nearly £500 million of to UK's economy over the next decade. This new facility will use British steel, which is a very important part, as I mentioned previously, supplying by again. Let's progress without. I don't know these companies, right? And will be a first time for UK has produced artillery gun barrels in 10 years, with production set to begin in 2027, right? So 3 years. Oh, that's a lot of time. But anyway, it's good. It's very important, by the way. This part is very important. But anyway, let's progress and let's take a look at the next article. So, what would be important, right? The next article, we can take a look at something that we were taking a look at previously. That would be German air taxi maker. Let's keep name units to file for insolvency. Share plunge. We were taking a look at, I think, the last article that we were taking a look at of this company was order that was made for 50 units, and I believe it was about 9 million for every unit, and something that was published 3 days ago. German air taxi delivery developer, that is the name of the company, said on Thursday two of its subsidiaries in the country have decided to file for insolvency following unsuccessful talks with state and or federal government to solve its cash crisis. So perhaps liquidity and the entire area might be very complex. But why that might be important? So it's just what's happening with the car industry. So myself, I thought federal government in Germany might be interested in supporting some of those businesses to tackle different problems, but I don't know all the details, right? And most likely it's not something that they're discussing in this article. If anything, we can just stick to what's been announced to this point, right? Okay, we have filed for insolvency. And let's progress and let's touch on how that might be important in Europe. That will be the last part of today's video, and something that was published 6 days ago. That the Commission makes 16 million of funding available to support journalism and or media literacy across Europe. Yeah, I really want to read this part, so I thought it's hilarious. But anyway, so because other governments are doing, and a lot of governments, other governments are supporting a lot of up and coming journalists and research, independent journalism, I believe would be very important. And it's good that European Commission have noticed that when it comes to quality of services. Perfect. Let's see how we can engage. But anyway, first let's read it. The Commission has published 3 calls for proposals under Creative European Program aiming to support media freedom and pluralism, increased media resilience, and help enhance media literacy. The first call for proposals will fund pluralism and collaboration actions to promote journalism partnerships with a total amount of 10.5 million, but that's just the first round, right? With next round additional 5.5 or so, right? Pluralism action aimed to organizations that can set up and distribute funds to news media entities in the sectors of particular relevance to democracy, while the collaboration actions aims to support cross-border collaboration proposals between news media organizations focusing on innovation business models and journalistic projects across Europe. Further call for proposals worth 3 million aim to create rapid response systems that will systematically and comprehensively monitor violations of press and media freedoms across Europe, as well as cross countries participating in the Creative European programs and all candidate countries. The overall aim is that the monitoring will generate better data and insights into risk of media freedoms and pluralism. Additional and most likely last 2.5 million are dedicated to innovation across borders, projects that help enhance Europeans' media literacy skills and will limit the determination and impact of disinformation. The grant will encourage knowledge sharing and on media literacy practices, as well as scaling up practices across national culture and linguistic borders. We can take a look at, and everyone can take a look at, and if you something yourself you're interested, you can engage with the team, as well as there might be some incentives, as well as don't forget to read all the terms and conditions. There might be some requirements. It's something that we were taking a look at previously. Sometimes they would ask that you need to speak a number of different languages and or publish some of that information in a number of different languages, all those kind of things, right? Just have that in mind. So, for example, you need to be publishing information in Italian, German, and other additional languages, for example, right? As well as there might be a location and who can engage with the team, right? But anyway, let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.